Ava Gardner, who they called the world's most beautiful animal. From the humble beginnings of a poor family in North Carolina to the dazzling lights of Hollywood, Ava Gardner's life was anything but ordinary. They called her the world's most beautiful animal, but she was so much more. A symbol of beauty, yes, but also a woman of immense talent and indomitable spirit. Her allure was so powerful, it won the hearts of many, including Hollywood's elite. Yet this beauty was a curse. Behind the glamour and the headlines, there was a woman who faced hardship, heartbreak, and health issues. This is the story of Ava Gardner, a woman who rose from the ashes of the Great Depression and World War II to become one of the most iconic figures in Hollywood history. Stay tuned as we unravel the captivating tale of Ava Gardner, the woman who was so much more than just a pretty face. In the early 1940s, Ava Gardner transformed from a struggling teenager in Grabtown to a sought-after celebrity in Hollywood. This leap into stardom altered her financial landscape significantly, but it also introduced her to the complexities of fame. She faced numerous challenges, from the difficulties of navigating Hollywood's demanding environment as a young, beautiful woman to managing her romantic involvements with some of the most captivating men in the industry. Ava Gardner led a fascinating life, and by the late 1980s decided to share her most private and startling experiences in a memoir, revealing some astonishing secrets about her journey. Before the whirlwind of fame, Ava Gardner's life was marked by simplicity and modest beginnings. Long before the glare of the spotlight found her, she lived an ordinary life in the rural setting of Grabtown. Born on the eve of Christmas in 1922, she was the seventh child of Jonas and Mary Gardner. From an early age, Ava showed signs of brilliance and a destiny for something greater. Her early years were spent in the company of her family in their farmhouse, set against the backdrop of the picturesque southern countryside with its expansive cotton fields and sunsets that streaked the sky in gold and crimson. Her family's home was surrounded by the land they farmed, mainly cultivating cotton as their source of income. Ava's parents were industrious, striving tirelessly to provide for their family. However, their efforts were devastated when Ava was 3 years old as a fire broke out, destroying their barn and cotton gin, an event that plunged their financial situation into dire straits and forced them to rebuild their lives from nothing. The family later moved to Brogdon, where her parents took up various odd jobs to make ends meet. With the onset of the Great Depression, their struggles intensified, yet they remained committed to ensuring Ava and her sisters received at least a basic education. Following her father's death in 1938, the family's circumstances grew even tougher, but these hardships only fortified Ava Gardner's resilience. Her entry into the entertainment world seemed almost fated, as her mother recognized her potential for stardom early on and supported her foray into Hollywood when the chance arose. Ava was still a novice in the industry when she was discovered, and while the allure of being a film star was thrilling, she was unprepared for the dramatic turns her life would soon take. Stepping into the glamorous yet daunting world of Hollywood was like a dream come true for Ava Gardner when she was chosen as one of MGM's burgeoning stars. At just 18, she was unaware of the steep price that often accompanied fame and influence. In the vibrant streets of New York City, a new star was poised to rise, and her name was Ava Gardner. Her ascent to Hollywood fame was propelled by a string of fortuitous events, beginning with the discovery of her striking beauty. It all started when her brother-in-law, a professional portrait photographer named Larry Tarr, decided to take a series of photographs of young Ava. Her innate beauty and charm were unmistakable from the moment she posed for Tarr's camera. Impressed by her photogenic qualities, Tarr quickly took several enchanting portraits and chose to display them prominently in his studio's window. Unbeknownst to him, these portraits would set the stage for Ava's cinematic journey. One of these images captured the attention of a leading talent scout, struck by Ava's captivating appearance and undeniable presence. This agent, Al Altman, recognized Ava's potential for stardom and swiftly introduced her to the influential figures in the film industry. Soon, Ava's unique allure and potential star power caught the eye of MGM Studios, a titan in the film industry eager to polish this raw gem into a celebrated movie star. Although her initial screen test wasn't flawless, MGM saw her potential and was confident in their ability to refine her talents. Armed with a contract, Ava Gardner left her New York life behind and ventured into a new realm in Hollywood. It was in 1941 that she made her first appearance in a minor role in the movie Babes on Broadway, marking the beginning of what would become an illustrious career. Ava Gardner's striking appearance undoubtedly played a pivotal role in her Hollywood career. With her captivating green eyes, flowing brunette hair, and a radiant smile that could illuminate even the dimmest settings, her beauty was truly mesmerizing. Yet it was not merely her looks that made her remarkable. Ava exuded a confidence and presence that captured attention, setting her apart from other aspiring actresses. As she refined her acting abilities and garnered more roles, both critics and audiences began to recognize the genuine talent behind her stunning facade. She had a profound ability to embody her characters, bringing them vividly to life on screen. Over time, Ava Gardner's fame soared as she delivered memorable performances in iconic films such as The Killers, Mogambo, and The Barefoot Contessa, securing her place as one of Hollywood's luminary figures. Naturally, her success drew considerable interest from men, making her a highly sought-after figure in the celebrity circles. However, the glitter of stardom eventually dimmed for Ava. By the late 1980s, the applause had waned. She found herself financially destitute, isolated, and often seeking solace in alcohol. It was during this bleak period that she decided to pen a memoir, hoping to reveal her most guarded secrets and perhaps find a financial reprieve. Ava Gardner's rationale for writing was poignant. Faced with the choice between selling her cherished jewels and telling her story, she chose the latter, driven by a deep sentimentality for her possessions. Determined to make an impact, she enlisted British journalist Peter Evans to ghostwrite her memoir, filled with what she referred to as her deathbed confessions. At the forefront of these revelations was her tumultuous relationship and marriage to Mickey Rooney. Ava was just 19 when she encountered the charismatic Mickey Rooney on the MGM set. Rooney, engaged in a comedic musical scene, was instantly smitten by Ava's allure. Their romance quickly escalated, leading to marriage. In her memoir, Ava candidly discussed her naivete at the time of their marriage, revealing that she was still a virgin and unaware of Mickey's infidelities. She described Mickey Rooney as irresistibly drawn to her, yet she was initially oblivious to his reputation as a notorious womanizer, famously remarking, "I still didn't know he was the biggest wolf on the lot. He'd screw anything that moved." This candid admission underscored the stark contrast between her public persona as a glamorous actress and the private struggles she faced in her personal relationships. Ava Gardner and Mickey Rooney initially appeared as the ideal couple embodying Hollywood's glamorous facade. However, Ava's memoir revealed a far more turbulent narrative behind their marriage, marked by deceit and emotional pain. She described her union with Mickey as fraught with betrayal, particularly highlighting an incident that epitomized his infidelity. While Ava was hospitalized recovering from an appendectomy, Mickey shockingly betrayed her by being unfaithful in their own home. This betrayal, occurring when she was most vulnerable, underscored the extent of his indiscretions throughout their marriage. Ava poignantly recalled, "He went through the ladies like a hot knife through fudge," a metaphor illustrating Mickey's relentless womanizing. Her honest disclosures in the memoir painted a stark contrast to the public image they maintained, revealing the deep heartache she endured. Their marriage eventually disintegrated in May 1943, marking the end of what was only the first of several complex romantic entanglements in Ava's life. Following her divorce from Mickey Rooney, Ava Gardner became involved with Howard Hughes. Unlike her emotional investment in her first marriage, Ava confessed that she never truly loved Hughes. In her memoir, she expressed gratitude towards him for financially supporting her dying mother's medical needs, acknowledging his generosity. However, she criticized Hughes for his prejudiced views, recounting a particularly harsh assessment of his character. "Howard wouldn't piss on a black man to put him out if he was on fire." This revelation highlighted not only the complexities of her personal relationships, but also the conflicting traits of the men she became involved with. Ava's next significant relationship was with Artie Shaw, her second husband, whom she described unequivocally as a bully. This series of relationships, as detailed in her memoir, offers a glimpse into the less glamorous side of Ava Gardner's life, marked by personal struggles and profound disappointments that contrasted sharply with her public success and allure. If you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. As Ava Gardner's career began to soar in the mid-1940s, her personal life took a dramatic turn with the arrival of Artie Shaw. Introduced by their mutual friend, actress Frances Heflin, Ava and Artie's meeting ignited an intense romance. Fresh from his service in the Second World War and enjoying his status as a celebrated band leader and composer, Artie Shaw captured Ava's heart with his intelligence and charisma. The couple appeared to be perfectly matched, and their relationship quickly deepened. After a few months of courtship, Ava moved in with Artie, and they married in a quiet ceremony in their Beverly Hills home in October 1945. Ava was just 22, and Artie was 35. Despite their age difference, their love initially seemed idyllic. However, the enchantment of their early days soon faded. Despite a seemingly thorough courtship and living together prior to marriage, their union began to deteriorate soon after they wed. Ava Gardner's memoir later exposed the harsh realities of their marriage, revealing a starkly different picture from what their public personas suggested. She described Artie Shaw as a domineering figure who often demeaned her, undermining her confidence and joy. Ava's portrayal of Artie in her memoir was candid and disillusioning, as she described him as a bully who was adept at belittling her, a stark contrast to the charming and sophisticated man she thought she had married. "He was another kind of bully. He was always putting me down." This disclosure offered a glimpse into the painful dynamics of their relationship, challenging the glamorous image often associated with Hollywood romances and shedding light on the personal struggles Ava faced behind closed doors. The revelations Ava Gardner shared about her marriage to Artie Shaw not only shocked those who perceived their union as idyllic, but also illuminated the personal turmoil she experienced. Within her memoir, Ava disclosed a significant action she took in response to the emotional distress caused by her relationship with Artie Shaw. She underwent an IQ test. Despite her success and acclaim in Hollywood, Ava struggled with feelings of intellectual inferiority during her marriage to Shaw, a man whose intellect and demeanor often left her feeling overshadowed and inadequate. Ava described a period marked by significant distress, where she coped by smoking 3 packs of Winstons a day and frequently indulging in alcohol. She recounted in her memoir, "He had me convinced that I was completely stupid. I didn't have an enormous IQ, but I did have a high one." These words reflected the deep-seated self-doubt instilled by Shaw's treatment, compelling her to seek validation through an IQ test. The results of the IQ test were a turning point for Ava. Contrary to the diminished self-image fostered by her marriage, the test confirmed her intelligence, scoring highly and dispelling the insecurities that Shaw had exacerbated. This newfound affirmation of her intellectual capabilities was both empowering and liberating, helping to restore her confidence and self-esteem. The end of her marriage to Artie Shaw came soon after, with their divorce finalized on October 25, 1946. Ava revealed that Shaw left her for another woman just a week after their first anniversary. Though this closure brought an end to a painful chapter, it also opened the door to new beginnings. Ava's subsequent encounters and relationships would lead her to someone she would later regard as the love of her life, demonstrating her resilience and capacity to find hope and love even after profound heartache. When Frank Sinatra first set eyes on Ava Gardner, he was instantly captivated, determined to have her despite being married. As Ava's star ascended in late 1940s Hollywood, with standout roles in films like The Hucksters and The Great Sinner, she and Frank Sinatra crossed paths again at a party in 1949. At this time, Sinatra was still entangled in a troubled marriage to his wife, Nancy, but the magnetic pull between him and Ava was undeniable. They embarked on a clandestine affair, striving for discretion yet unable to conceal their connection from the public eye. Ava recounted in her memoir how Sinatra was convinced it was true love from their very first encounter, which was as wild as it was whimsical. One late night, they took a memorable drive from Palm Springs to Indio, during which they mischievously shot out streetlights and store windows, an act that underscored their reckless abandon and deepening bond. By 1951, Sinatra had finalized his divorce, and he and Ava married. She was in her late 20s and he was well into his 40s, a dynamic that only added to their intense, electric relationship. However, the initial bliss soon gave way to turmoil. Ava disclosed in her memoir that their romance, right from the start, was marked by intense, volatile interactions characterized by excessive drinking and fiery arguments. Frank Sinatra knew that it was true love on the first date. This tempestuous pattern continued into their marriage, often making headlines. Compounding their struggles, Ava revealed that she became pregnant twice during their relationship, choosing to terminate both pregnancies. These decisions were fraught with emotional pain and added a layer of complexity to their already strained relationship. Over time, the passion that had once drawn them so compellingly together began to fuel their disputes, turning their marriage into a continuation of the storms that had defined their courtship. Public confrontations and personal battles became the hallmark of their union, filling the tabloids with tales of a romance that burned too bright and too tumultuous, ultimately unable to withstand its own fiery nature. Among the startling revelations in Ava Gardner's deathbed memoir was her disclosure of a secret affair with Robert Mitchum. While deeply involved with Frank Sinatra, Ava also had a passionate relationship with Mitchum. She described her feelings for him vividly, admitting, "I was crazy about him." However, the affair came to an abrupt end when she confessed to Mitchum that she was also seeing Sinatra. Mitchum's reaction was swift and decisive. Concerned about the volatile nature of Sinatra, he told her, "Get into a fight with him, and he won't stop until one of you is dead." Fearing for his own safety, Mitchum chose to distance himself entirely from the situation. Despite ongoing efforts to salvage their relationship, the complexities and tumultuous nature of Ava and Frank Sinatra's union eventually led to its dissolution. Their divorce was finalized on July 5, 1957. Ava's memoir continued to unveil startling aspects of her personal life, including her time with George C. Scott, which contrasted sharply with the public's perception of their relationship. Ava Gardner's recounting of her relationship with George C. Scott revealed a harrowing pattern of abuse, particularly when Scott was under the influence of alcohol. She described terrifying episodes where Scott would escalate their arguments to physical violence using smashed bottles as weapons. One particularly dark incident involved Scott overpowering her, brandishing the jagged edges of a broken bottle while alternately declaring his love and striking her. Ava's graphic description of being assaulted: "He was kneeling across me, waving the jagged edges of the glass in front of my face with one hand and hitting me with the other, telling me he loved me and smashing a fist into my eye. 'Marry me. Do you hear what I'm saying?' Followed by another blow. Shocked readers and shed light on the severe abuse she endured behind closed doors, which starkly contrasted with their outward appearance as a cute couple. These revelations highlighted the complex and often painful reality of Ava Gardner's relationships, revealing the stark disparity between public perceptions and private truths in her life. As we delve deeper into the tapestry of her romantic entanglements, it's clear that Ava's heart was as restless as her spirit, leading her into the arms of an eclectic mix of individuals across the globe. Among these was Claude Terray, the charismatic owner of the legendary Parisian eatery La Tour d'Argent. Their romance, simmering within the backdrop of fine French cuisine, added an exotic flavor to her love life. Meanwhile, her relationship with Tony Trubbert, the world's former #1 tennis player, served a sensation on and off the courts, merging Hollywood glamour with athletic prowess. Ava's heart didn't stop there. She also found herself entwined with Jimmy Kind, an American actor known for his roles in hard-boiled classics like The Big Heat and The Wild One. Each relationship, like scenes from different scripts, showcased a different facet of Ava's ceaseless search for connection. Her liaisons also included high-profile figures like Robert Evans, a film producer whose works, The Godfather and Chinatown, are cinematic landmarks. Ava's time with Evans linked her to some of the most monumental film projects of the era. Then there was the charming Italian actor Walter Chiari, whose comedic prowess captured her heart for a time. However, perhaps one of the most publicized of her romances was with Spanish bullfighter Mario Cabra, whose passionate nature matched the intensity of their public affair during the filming of Pandora and The Flying Dutchman. Not all stories in Ava's Book of Love had happy endings. Her affair with Robert Taylor, known for its intensity, reportedly wreaked havoc on his marriage. Similarly, her relationship with Howard Duff was marked by a fervent passion that was as fiery as it was fleeting. Even her brief encounter with American comic Chris Peterson showed her lighter, more playful side, despite its brevity. Adding to her list of illustrious partners was Luis Miguel Dominguin, another bullfighter whose name was synonymous with bravado and skill, further emphasizing her allure to men of courage and charisma. Off the romantic track, she maintained a platonic friendship with British actor Charles Gray, adding a layer of steadiness amid her otherwise tumultuous love life. Through each chapter of her romantic journey, Ava Gardner navigated the highs and lows with a resilience that was as dramatic as any role she ever played on screen. Each relationship, whether fleeting or profound, was a testament to her complex nature and unending quest for love and excitement. If you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. In her memoir, Ava Gardner candidly reflected on the choices she made in her romantic life, acknowledging that many of her heartaches stemmed from the men she chose to be with. Despite receiving warnings from those close to her, Ava often proceeded with relationships that would later bring her pain. A poignant aspect of this was her relationship with her best friend Lana Turner, who also had her share of high-profile romantic entanglements within Hollywood. Lana Turner, a renowned actress known for her allure and her own complicated romantic history, had previously been involved with some of the same men as Ava. With first-hand experience of the personalities and pitfalls of these men, Lana was in a unique position to offer Ava sound advice. When Ava discussed her plans to pursue a relationship with Frank Sinatra, Lana earnestly advised against it, drawing from her own experiences with Sinatra, as well as with Artie Shaw, whom she had also dated. Lana's words to Ava were clear and laden with the wisdom of personal experience. "I've been there, honey," she told me, "don't do it." Ava's acknowledgement in her memoir that she should have heeded Lana's advice underscores a recurring theme in her reflections: a sense of regret for not listening to warnings from a trusted friend who understood the potential consequences. This revelation not only highlights the complexities of Ava's relationships, but also emphasizes the depth of her friendship with Lana, illustrating a bond shaped by shared experiences in the tumultuous landscape of Hollywood's romantic dynamics. Yet, beyond the whirlwind of her personal life, Ava Gardner's career achievements stand as a testament to her remarkable talent and enduring impact on the film industry. Ava Gardner's performances were not only captivating, but also critically acclaimed, marking her as a force to be reckoned with in Hollywood. Her role in John Ford's Mogambo in 1953 is particularly noteworthy, as it earned her a coveted Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, a significant milestone in any actor's career. Her portrayal in the film was both powerful and poignant, resonating with audiences and critics alike. But her accolades didn't stop there. Over a decade later, in 1964, her performance in John Huston's The Night of the Iguana garnered her nominations for Best Actress at both the Golden Globe and BAFTA Awards, further cementing her status as a leading lady of the silver screen. In 1999, the American Film Institute paid a lasting tribute to Ava's cinematic legacy by ranking her number 25 on its list of the greatest female screen legends. This recognition speaks volumes about her influence and the indelible mark she left on the world of cinema. Throughout her career, Ava took on roles that challenged norms and showcased her versatility. From the allure and mystery of Pandora and the Flying Dutchman in 1951 to the dramatic depths of the Barefoot Contessa in 1954, each performance added layers to her growing legend. Her roles in films like Bhawani Junction and On the Beach displayed her range, transitioning from glamorous parts to more gritty, realistic portrayals. Ava's participation in epics such as 55 Days at Peking and The Bible in the Beginning highlighted her ability to hold her own in sweeping narratives that demanded a commanding presence. Not confined to the big screen, she also shone on television, captivating audiences with her role as Ruth Galveston in the primetime soap opera Knots Landing in 1985. These milestones in Ava Gardner's career not only highlight her artistic achievements, but also her resilience and adaptability in an industry known for its relentless pace and pressure. Her journey from the starry-eyed ingenue to a revered screen legend is a narrative of triumph over personal and professional challenges, a true Hollywood saga. Beyond the bright lights and camera flashes, Ava Gardner's life was enriched by her adventurous spirit and a profound love for travel that saw her embracing new cultures, arts, and cuisines with open arms. Ava's passion for exploration was not just a leisure activity. It deeply influenced her work. The roles she chose often mirrored the depth and diversity of her experiences around the world, bringing authenticity and vibrancy to her performances. Away from the scripts and sets, Ava was a voracious reader. Her personal library boasted over 500 books, a testament to her intellectual curiosity and a broad spectrum of interests. This love for literature nourished her mind and soul, providing a deeper insight into the complexities of the characters she so skillfully brought to life on screen. But Ava's life was not solely defined by her Hollywood persona. She had a profound connection with nature, reflected in her love for animals and gardening. This aspect of her life showcased her compassionate and nurturing side, starkly contrasting with the glamorous image often projected in the media. Furthermore, Ava's early career was challenged by her distinct North Carolina accent, which could have hindered her prospects in film. Yet with typical determination, she worked diligently to refine her speech, demonstrating not just her ability to adapt, but also her unwavering commitment to her craft. Through each chapter of her life, whether overcoming linguistic barriers or delving into the pages of a novel, Ava Gardner exhibited a relentless pursuit of personal growth and professional excellence. Her story is not just one of cinematic success, but also of a woman who lived fully, loved deeply, and faced life's myriad challenges with resilience and grace. Ava's influence extended far beyond the silver screen. She was also a compassionate soul dedicated to philanthropy and activism, leaving a legacy rich with generosity and advocacy. Ava Gardner's heart was as big as her talent. Known for her humanitarian spirit, she supported an array of causes throughout her lifetime. From contributing to the March of Dimes to supporting the American Cancer Society and the American Red Cross, Ava's generosity knew no bounds. Her commitment to these organizations highlighted her deep compassion for those in need and her desire to make a tangible difference in the world. In 1986, Ava took a decisive step to ensure her charitable efforts would endure by establishing the Ava Gardner Trust. This trust was crafted to perpetuate her legacy of kindness and support for humanitarian causes, proving that her compassion extends beyond her lifetime. Moreover, Ava was a fervent supporter of civil rights, actively using her platform and resources to advocate for racial equality. The Ava Gardner Trust continues to uphold this cause, reflecting her lifelong commitment to fighting injustice. Her actions went beyond mere donations. She was deeply involved, using her celebrity status to influence and enact change. In addition to her support for civil rights, Ava was politically active, embracing her right to vote, a right secured just 2 years before her birth. She not only exercised this right diligently, but also encouraged others to do the same, thereby using her voice in the political arena to inspire change and participation. These contributions underscore Ava Gardner's profound impact not only in entertainment, but also in society at large. Her story is a powerful testament to the fact that one can wield their influence to foster change and spread kindness, making the world a slightly better place, one act of generosity at a time. We continue to explore the profound reflections she left behind, revealing her inner thoughts and feelings across various themes of her life. Starting with love and relationships, Ava once candidly remarked, "Love is nothing but a pain in the ass." She also shared insights into her romantic life, saying, "I think the main reason my marriages failed is that I always loved too well, but never wisely. These quotes peel back the curtain on Ava's romantic struggles, exposing a pattern of passionate yet unwise attachments. Her experiences in love, while full of intensity, often led to heartache, suggesting a tumultuous journey in search of affection and connection. Ava's reflections on love reveal a deep emotional vulnerability and the personal cost of her romantic adventures. Turning to her views on life and hedonism, Ava declared, "The truth is, honey, I've enjoyed my life. I've had a hell of a good time." She envisioned her ideal old age. "When I'm old and grey, I want to have a house by the sea and paint, with a lot of wonderful chums, good music and booze around, and a damn good kitchen to cook in." Ava's zest for life shines through these words, showing her relentless pursuit of joy and pleasure. She embraced life's pleasures unabashedly, with a desire to live vibrantly until the end. Her carefree attitude and hedonistic values reflect a personal philosophy of seizing life with both hands without regrets. In her professional life and fame, Ava's reflections were mixed with a sense of realism about the entertainment industry. She expressed, "I have only one rule in acting: trust the director and give him heart and soul." However, she also acknowledged the darker side of fame, noting, "Fame gives you everything you never wanted. And don't think for a minute that bad publicity and endless criticism don't leave their claw marks on everyone concerned." These insights offer a glimpse into the pressures and challenges Ava faced in the spotlight. Despite her dedication to her craft, the harsh realities of fame left indelible marks, highlighting the personal sacrifices behind her glamorous facade. Finally, Ava's self-perception and wit are evident in her lighter, more humorous reflections. She quipped, "Deep down, I'm pretty superficial," and playfully boasted, "Elizabeth Taylor is not beautiful, she is pretty. I was beautiful." These quotes showcase her sharp wit and ability to laugh at herself and the world. Ava's self-awareness and humor provided a way to cope with the pressures of her public life, adding layers to her public persona that were both endearing and relatable. Through Ava Gardner's own words, we see a portrait of a woman who navigated the complexities of love, fame, and personal identity with boldness and sincerity. Her quotes not only entertain but also offer deep insights into the life of a Hollywood legend who lived passionately and spoke her mind with remarkable candor. In her final years, Ava made London, England, her home, having spent a rich chapter of her life under the warm sun of Spain. Despite stepping back from the limelight somewhat, she remained professionally active up until 1986, a testament to her enduring passion for acting. That year, however, marked a significant challenge for Ava as she suffered a stroke, leaving her partially paralyzed but far from beaten. Even through this adversity, Ava was not left to fend for herself. She had managed her finances well from her years in film and television, ensuring she was not destitute. One of the more touching aspects of her later life was her enduring connection with Frank Sinatra, her ex-husband, who exemplified their lasting bond by supporting her after her stroke. He not only reached out to comfort her, but also contributed to her medical expenses, showcasing a profound level of care and respect that transcended their past marital woes. Ava Gardner's journey came to a close on January 25, 1990, when she passed away from pneumonia at the age of 67. Her final resting place is beside her parents in North Carolina, bringing her story full circle back to her roots. Today, Ava's legacy as one of the leading ladies of the golden age of Hollywood is celebrated and cherished, her spirit and allure immortalized in the annals of cinema history. Her life, marked by both glittering success and personal trials, continues to inspire and captivate those who remember her or discover her anew. As we reflect on Ava Gardner's life, let's think about the lessons we can draw from her experiences. How do we handle our own challenges and setbacks? Are we cultivating relationships that will stand the test of time and trials? Now, I'd love to hear from you. If you're a fan of Ava Gardner or if her story touched you in some way, comment below with the letter A. Let's celebrate the legacy of a woman who brought so much to the screen and indeed to life itself. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of one of Hollywood's iconic stars and want to explore more captivating stories from the Golden Age and beyond, don't forget to like and subscribe to Iconic Inside. Your support helps us keep bringing these timeless tales right to your screen, so hit that subscribe button, join our family, and keep the legacy of stars like Ava Gardner alive. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. It's been a full 3 years since we bid farewell to the amazing Kenny Rogers, and now there's a bombshell announcement. His spouse has finally spoken out, revealing startling things about Rogers that no one would have anticipated from a spouse. In this segment, we're going to expose exclusive details shared by Kenny Rogers' widow, Wanda Miller, years after he left us. Kenny Rogers went down the aisle 5 times, and it's his last wife, Wanda Miller, who has decided to speak up. Before diving into the earth-shaking revelation she brings to light, let's revisit Kenny Rogers' history to glimpse into his actions. Long before Kenny Rogers became an esteemed musical legend, he was a small-town hopeful, guitar in tow, unraveling the complex melodies of his formative years. Born into modest beginnings on August 21st, 1938, in Houston, Kenny was not originally surrounded by the shine of entertainment. His father, Edward, earned his living as a carpenter, and his mother, Lucille, supported the family as a nurse's assistant. Amid the company of 7 siblings in a federal housing project in a poorer section of Houston, Kenny stood out as the first member of his family to walk across the high school graduation stage. Kenny Rogers' early life in the 4th Ward of Houston was marked by challenges and ongoing pressures. The San Felipe courts, where he was raised, were initially built for white residents, causing the displacement of communities of color. As one of 8 children, Rogers experienced firsthand the financial struggles his family endured. His father juggled carpentry and music, while his mother cleaned offices and worked at a hospital, all in an effort to support the family. Despite these hardships, Rogers' siblings recall the resilience fostered by their faith and the camaraderie within their neighborhood. "We were poor, there's no doubt about that," Rogers' brother Roy confessed in a People magazine interview. His sister Sandy mentioned, despite the financial hurdles, there was always hope for a better future. For Kenny Rogers and his family, a strong sense of community was not just among their relatives. Rogers in particular carried forward the lessons of thankfulness and giving he learned early on. Upon reaching celebrity status in the 1970s, Rogers remembered where he came from. His rise to fame wasn't seen as merely a personal success, but as a chance to help those who stood by him when times were tough. According to the Houston Press, Rogers was determined to repay the acts of kindness he had benefited from. In one heartwarming instance, he discovered a previous neighbor was in a bind, needing $600 for car repairs. Rogers responded by sending her $20,000, advising her to get a new car instead. The note he included summed up his grateful spirit. "Thank you for helping me pay my rent years ago." In his 2012 autobiography, Luck or Something Like It, Kenny Rogers delved into the intimate details of his life journey, shedding light on both his accomplishments and the trials that molded him. A significant subject he touched on was his father's affliction with alcoholism, a challenge that profoundly influenced Rogers and shaped key life decisions. Speaking with Reuters, Rogers disclosed the heart-rending truth that seeing his father's fight with alcohol and its fallout was a driving force behind his own choice to remain sober. His father's battles with drinking and the difficulties that arose from it led Rogers to decide early on to steer clear of alcohol altogether. This choice was driven by not only a desire to avoid the cycle of addiction, but also by concerns over a hereditary vulnerability to alcoholism, worrying he might end up walking a similar path as his father. Yet this resolve to stay sober was not without its emotional weight. In his memoir, Rogers expressed a deep-seated regret, a sorrow over not fully grasping the root causes of his father's struggle with alcoholism. The era following the Second World War, characterized by economic difficulties and widespread joblessness, set the stage for his father's difficulties with alcohol. Kenny Rogers spoke with a heavy heart about missing the chance to understand the deeper drives that led his father toward alcohol dependency. His reflection stands as a touching testament to the intricate dance of personal battles and the influence of broader societal challenges. Yet out of these tribulations, Kenny Rogers arose as a figure of resilience and optimism, embodying the notion of making the best out of a bad situation, exemplifying a lemons to lemonade philosophy. His memoir disclosed that Rogers, through his own experiences with alcohol and substances, found comfort and a sense of direction in photography, bridging the gaps in his musical career. Photography wasn't just an avenue for artistic expression, it also served as a source of healing. Beyond that, Rogers put his influence to good use by becoming a voice for individuals struggling with addiction, offering insights drawn from his personal confrontations with these challenges. Kenny Rogers' ascension to country music icon status is a chronicle steeped in a lifelong affair with melody. Immersed in a musical family, as reported by the New York Times, every relative played an instrument, making music an intrinsic part of home life. This foundation, however, did not shield him from the future struggles which he candidly discussed with Rolling Stone in 2014. His career's defining moments were characterized by resilience. An encounter with Steve Wynn, who forewarned of his termination, tested Rogers, yet his dedication shone as he completed his engagements in a modest Vegas lounge. Pursuing a solo career, Rogers hit a barrier when music labels branded him too old for the youthful guise of country music. These rejections couldn't stall his steadfast pursuit. Larry Butler's emergence marked a critical turning point. The duo's collaboration bloomed, leading to the award-winning hit Lucille. When accepting his Grammy, Rogers publicly expressed his gratitude to Butler for helping him succeed in an industry that could have sidelined him for his age. Rewind to Rogers' dreams, influenced by the soulful Ray Charles, and his ambition was apparent. In his search for fame and female admiration, he formed the Scholars, a doo-wop cluster that experienced fleeting success and eventual hardship, leading Rogers to quip about their lack of scholastic achievement. Rogers' versatility took him from the jazz scene to the new Christy Minstrels, and eventually to fronting the First Edition. Rogers and the First Edition's popularity soared with tracks like Ruby Don't Take Your Love to Town and their TV show Rolling on the River. These successes sculpted his pathway to stardom. Rogers' connection with his audience was through songs that resonated with universal emotions. In a 2012 discussion, Rogers dissected his lyrical narratives. He described his music as either tender ballads, articulating unsaid feelings, or storied songs with layered meanings, epitomized by tracks like Reuben James and Ruby Don't Take Your Love to Town. Ruby painted a vivid portrait of a disabled veteran's broken heart, recognized through Rogers' poignant interpretation. Penned by Mel Tillis, the ballad explores the veteran's helplessness and heartache catalyzed by his wife's infidelity. Rogers' haunting reflection in the song, "And if I could move, I'd get my gun and put her in the ground," evokes the tragic depth of betrayal and despair. Kenny Rogers, merging his story with that of the everyman, became more than an artist. He was a narrative custodian in which personal experiences and societal narratives were sung with genuine realism. His trajectory from family jams to international acclaim manifested in a body of work that strengthened the very fabric of country music. His journey, with its ebbs and flows, epitomizes the portrait of an artist whose career became synonymous with the enduring legacy of authenticity and heart. The duo of Kenny Rogers and Dottie West transcended the boundaries of mere musical collaboration. It fostered a bond rooted in deep, unwavering friendship. Modeled after their collaborations on several albums that birthed major hits including Every Time Two Fools Collide and Anyone Who Isn't Me Tonight, their synergy bloomed both within and beyond the confines of the recording studio, as noted by Country Music Family. Their rapport extended into a profound companionship, spotlighting a remarkable journey not just of chart-topping melodies, but of genuine human connection. In what would unfold as a profound episode of his life, Kenny Rogers was among the last to see Dottie West before she met with a grievous fate in the early 90s. Amidst personal turbulence marked by divorce and financial woes as outlined by The Boot, Rogers emerged not just as a friend, but as a tower of support for West, uplifting her as she navigated through the storms to revitalize her career. Emblematic of their special bond was Rogers' compassionate act of gifting Dottie a car, serving not only as a helping hand but also as an emblem of their steadfast friendship. The narrative took a tragic turn on August 31st, 1991. It was under the unfortunate malfunctioning of this very gift that West found herself in dire straits, hastening to the Grand Ole Opry. In a desperate bid to salvage time with the help of a neighbor, calamity struck. A harrowing crash ensued against a freeway barrier, The aftermath was catastrophic for West, leading to critical injuries from which she would not recover, despite the valiant efforts of multiple surgical interventions. Lamenting over the tragedy and the magnitude of loss, Kenny Rogers disclosed in a 2014 Rolling Stone interview a deeply personal ambition of his: to see Dottie West honored with her rightful place in the Country Music Hall of Fame. His dedication to preserving her legacy was not in vain. In 2018, his wish was fulfilled. In a poignant tribute on his Facebook page, Rogers celebrated the induction of my friend, the late very great Dottie West, into the hallowed halls of country music's pantheon. This gesture underscored a friendship that, even in absence and through music's eternal echo, managed to forge a legacy remembered and honored across the annals of country music history. In 2012, Kenny Rogers found himself at the forefront of a significant legal battle that spotlighted a critical issue in the music industry: the fair compensation of artists for digital sales. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Rogers initiated a lawsuit against Capitol Records, arguing that artists should receive 50% of the revenue generated from digital downloads and online sales. This lawsuit wasn't an isolated endeavor. Several other prominent artists, including the Allman Brothers, Rob Zombie and Sister Sledge, joined Rogers in similar class action lawsuits. The heart of the dispute underscored a systematic problem within the music industry. Estimates from industry analysts suggested that approximately $25 billion in revenue generated from online sales, particularly through platforms like iTunes, had not been appropriately distributed to artists. Rogers' lawsuit against Capitol Records highlighted this issue on a personal scale by claiming that the record label had withheld around $400,000 in profits from the digital sales of his music. This legal challenge shed light on a broader, pervasive issue in the industry, emphasizing the need for equitable revenue sharing in the age of digital music. Rogers' stance, alongside other notable figures, brought significant attention to the financial rights of artists in the era of online sales, advocating for a fairer distribution of the profits generated from their creative work. The lawsuit initiated by Kenny Rogers brought to the forefront a systemic flaw within the music industry, wherein artists were not receiving equitable earnings from digital sales. Despite attempts at an amicable resolution with the record company, the issue ultimately escalated to legal proceedings. The significance of Rogers' legal challenge transcended his individual grievance, casting a spotlight on the broader difficulties confronting artists in the digital era. As the traditional frameworks for artist compensation grappled to adapt to the fast-evolving online music consumption landscape, the case underscored the pressing need for reform. If you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. The ramifications of these legal disputes reverberated throughout the music industry, underlining the urgency for sweeping changes to secure fair compensation for artists' creative endeavors. As the industry transitioned towards streaming platforms by 2020, the disparity in artist remuneration became even more pronounced. Haley Bozer, a well-regarded senior lecturer in intellectual property law from Brunel University, London, underscored the persistent imbalance. With streaming services in the UK generating substantial profits, exceeding $1 billion, approximately $1.3 billion USD, in the previous year, Bozer brought attention to the stark reality faced by the majority of artists. Surprisingly, the annual earnings of 8 out of 10 artists from these platforms fell below $200, or approximately $250 USD. This data highlighted the ongoing battle for equitable compensation in the digital music landscape, advocating for essential reforms to establish a fair and viable industry for all involved parties. The eclectic musical preferences of Kenny Rogers mirrored his rich and varied upbringing, yet his steadfast commitment to his career often came at a personal cost. Rogers walked down the aisle 5 times, experiencing the dissolution of 4 of his marriages to Janice Gordon, Gene Rogers, Margot Anderson, and actress Marianne Gordon, each ending in divorce. Rogers embarked on matrimony for the first time at the tender age of 19 with Janice Gordon, propelled by the news of their impending parenthood with their daughter Carol. In his memoir, Rogers candidly expressed his genuine affection for Janice, despite the formidable opposition from her parents. They believed Rogers had derailed their daughter's life and were unwavering in their resolve to dissolve the union. Ultimately, their interventions yielded a regrettable outcome for Rogers, leading to the disintegration of the marriage. A painful resolution was reached in which Rogers would sever ties with his daughter Carol, a decision that undeniably left its mark on both their lives. Regarding his second marriage to John Rogers, Kenny acknowledged that a shared sense of ennui crept into their union, and together they decided not to have children, which played into their relationship's eventual end. Rogers' third matrimonial venture was with Margot Anderson, with whom he had a son, Kenny Jr. Reminiscing in an interview, Rogers characterized his 12-year marriage to Margot as thrilling. He recalled a blissful first 9 years. However, the joy eventually faded, leading to a decline that he partly attributed to the strains caused by his relentless touring. His subsequent marriage to Marianne Gordon resulted in another son, Christopher. However, their journey together would eventually falter, culminating in a 1993 divorce that stood out as one of the costliest at the time, incurring a staggering settlement of $60 million for Rogers. In a remarkable display of integrity and appreciation, Rogers later reflected on the divorce and publicly recognized that Marianne deserved every dollar of the settlement. He appreciated her steady support during the lean periods of his career, before he found his footing and flourished as a solo performer. This acknowledgement of Marianne's contribution to his life and career depicted the depth of Rogers' character, as he held no animosity and maintained a stance of gratitude for the shared years and support. During his union with his fourth spouse, Marianne Gordon, the whispers of a clandestine liaison between Kenny Rogers and the illustrious Dolly Parton were rife. The media was ablaze with conjecture fueled by their palpable rapport both in the limelight and during more private moments. Kenny openly owned up to the fact that their interactions had been laced with playful hints and flirtatious exchanges for over 3 decades, stirring fans and onlookers into believing that there must have been threads of romance interwoven with their friendship, especially given that both were wed to others at the time. The strength of their bond was unmistakably showcased in the video for You Can't Make Old Friends. Dolly herself vocalized the unique connection she shared with Kenny in an interview, remarking on the unmistakable chemistry and amity they shared that others too could feel. She posited, "There are different kinds of soulmates," indicating the deep yet non-romantic dimension of her relationship with Kenny. The two indeed had a connection that often goes unseen. Despite this, Dolly firmly stated in 2017 that their relationship was akin to that of siblings. Even so, their light-hearted dance of camaraderie and teasing never waned, underscoring a treasured and enduring friendship. In 2017, with a hint of mischief in his tone, Kenny Rogers disclosed the strategic choice to maintain a platonic relationship with Dolly Parton was to preserve the electric dynamic they shared. "I'm a believer that tension is better if you keep it than if you satisfy it," he elucidated, suggesting that their undeniable chemistry was better left unexplored to keep the spark alive. Throughout their long-standing friendship, Kenny stayed married, navigating the waters of companionship with his wife and his deep connection with Dolly. When Marianne, Kenny's fourth wife, was questioned in 2020 about any potential jealousy towards Dolly Parton, she expressed complete security in their marriage, emphasizing her deep understanding of Kenny. "I never felt uncomfortable at all. I just knew him so well." This underscored that the speculation surrounding Kenny and Dolly never posed a real threat to his marriages. Kenny held a profound love for all the women he was married to and didn't resort to pointing fingers when the relationships concluded. So what was the primary cause of turmoil in his marriages? Kenny provided insight into this in 2012, shedding light on the role his career played in the breakdown of his relationships. He equated music to being a mistress that was hard to rival for his wives. This passion for his craft, while a blessing for his career, acted as a wedge in his personal life. "When I became so focused on my career, I ended up neglecting my marriages. I blame myself and my love for music. It's like having a mistress you can't resist, and well, the mistress tends to win in a situation like that," Kenny confided, acknowledging that his devotion to music often overshadowed his marital commitments, thereby straining his romantic relationships. Kenny Rogers often infused humor into his reflections on his personal life, jokingly noting, "I mean, you can't call me commitment phobic. I've been married 5 times. After a string of marriages, he adopted a more relaxed approach to dating. However, it was in this period of laid-back encounters that he stumbled upon his ultimate life partner, Wanda Miller. A blind date at the Pry restaurant in Atlanta, Georgia, arranged by a friend, acted as the unexpected prologue to their love story. During a date that didn't quite hit the mark, Kenny caught sight of Wanda working her shift at the restaurant. There was something about her, particularly her authentic smile, that resonated with him. Out of respect for the woman he was with, Rogers refrained from introducing himself to Wanda then and there. Nonetheless, the impression she left was so strong that he called the restaurant later that night to inquire about her, leaving his number with a colleague of Miller's. Initially, Wanda was skeptical about the prospect, even dismissively setting aside Kenny's number. Yet, after some persuasion from her co-workers, she decided to return his call, and that decision marked the beginning of their relationship. Miller and Rogers spent about half a year getting to know each other before Wanda felt ready to talk to her parents about her relationship with the renowned musician. Their reaction to the news was less than enthusiastic, to put it mildly. Despite this, what began as a chance encounter evolved into a bond that would stand the test of time, eventually leading them down the aisle and through a shared life journey. The age difference of nearly 3 decades between Kenny Rogers and Wanda Miller was indeed significant, especially considering Rogers was 2 years older than Miller's parents. In a candid moment, Rogers recounted that Wanda's parents had concerns about him dating their 26-year-old daughter and weren't shy about expressing them. Understanding their perspective, Rogers, who by that time was a father of 3, empathized and reassured them with a promise that he would never hurt Wanda or betray their trust. This respectful approach led to a solid and sincere friendship with Miller's parents. The couple's relationship blossomed over the years, leading them to tie the knot on June 1st, 1997 at Kenny Rogers' ranch in Athens, Georgia, marking his 5th and final marriage. In reflection, Rogers claimed his marriage to Miller was the most fulfilling. His previous marriages, while filled with affection, occurred during a period in his life when he was enveloped in success and the material rewards that came with it, and perhaps not quite ready for the seriousness marriage entails. The birth of twin sons in 2004 brought a new set of considerations for Rogers, who, at that time, was initially hesitant about fatherhood again due to the awareness of his advancing years. He expressed a poignant sentiment. "Someone will be talking about his or her child going to college, and it breaks my heart. And that was the reason I didn't want children again, because I knew I wouldn't be there at the prime of their lives." This quote reveals Rogers' deep concerns about not being present during his children's most formative and critical experiences. Yet when Wanda, at 31, expressed her desire for children, Kenny gave the matter deep thought and concluded it would be unjust to deprive her of the maternal experience. They henceforth decided to pursue parenthood together, which joyously resulted in the birth of twin boys. Following their arrival, the iconic country musician chose to retire, turning his attention to savor more precious moments with his family. Despite the idyllic family life, Kenny's path wasn't without its trials, including a dalliance with substance use, which he candidly discussed in his memoir. He recounted one particularly memorable incident where he took drugs before a performance, believing it enhanced his stage presence and rapport with the audience. However, his band members were left perplexed, questioning his nonsensical ramblings about a zoo. Another adventurous yet singular experience involved acid, taking Kenny on an emotional whirlwind that he described as a one-off encounter. Among Kenny's reflections was an acknowledgement of a significant regret concerning cosmetic surgery. Opting for a procedure in hopes of rejuvenation, he specifically mentioned dissatisfaction with how his eyes turned out after the surgery. Despite this unease, Kenny rationalized the decision, considering the potential alternatives. He mused that the situation could have been more unfavorable and chose to view it as a step towards self-improvement, albeit with mixed feelings about the results. Acknowledging that his experience wasn't as adverse as it could have been, he adopted a perspective of gratitude, deciding to forego further complaints and to accept the outcome as part of his journey. Throughout all his life experiences, a blend of escapades and stinted regrets, Kenny Rogers found a sanctuary in the love and support of his cherished wife, Wanda Miller. With her by his side, the weight of his what-ifs became more manageable. Their union, seasoned with love and companionship, endured for 22 years until Rogers' departure from this world on March 20th, 2020. Before delving into the stirring disclosure made by Miller post-Rogers' departure, it's important to clarify that there was no indication of a dire terminal illness as a precursor to his passing. The question of his health leading up to his final days has been a topic of speculation, but it appears that the inevitable impacts of aging took their toll in the form of deteriorating health, akin to the universal vulnerabilities that accompany advancing years. Kenny Rogers' farewell was a reflection of the times, a period marked by a global pandemic that required intimate, scaled-down gatherings, as opposed to grand public displays. Thus, his funeral was a quiet, deeply personal affair. His loss resonated with many, none more so than Dolly Parton, whose sorrow was profound, the news of his passing striking her with immense force. The iconic duets that Rogers and Parton shared will forever remain a testament to their extraordinary musical kinship. If you like this video, please leave a number 9 in the comments below. In the wake of 3 years since Rogers' passing, Wanda Miller, entrusted with his legacy, expressed her unguarded feelings. Opening up about her loss, she spoke of the deep void left by his absence, the absence of his love, his support, and his touch. However, life's perpetual march continues, and subsequently Miller has begun writing new chapters in her story, her heart finding room to embrace another partner. Before diving further, have you pondered the sweetness of their final days shared together? Picture serene moments filled with films and his favored dessert, vanilla ice cream draped in chocolate sauce. Indeed, a heartwarming scene to hold on to. Kenny Rogers, far removed from any semblance of pretension, was grounded in his essence, instilling the same values in his children. A poignant instance shared by Wanda illuminates this sentiment. Amidst concerns over how Kenny's passing at home might imprint on their children, one of their sons, Justin, offered a comforting outlook. "Mum, one thing about Dad passing away at home, his sweet spirit will be here forever." To which Wanda affirmed, "Absolutely, Justin, absolutely." In Kenny's absence, Wanda finds a unique comfort in the guise of red birds, messengers that seem to echo words of solace from her late husband. It's as if a clandestine dialect exists between them. Whenever conversations about Kenny arise, these crimson visitors land on the balcony or peer through the window, symbolizing to Wanda that he remains in perpetual vigil, safeguarding their home. Amidst navigating life without Kenny, Lionel Richie stands as a beacon of unwavering support for Wanda, embodying the role of a brother endowed with boundless affection. With regular check-ins every 10 days, Richie ensures Wanda feels a continued connection to Kenny's world, a gesture that significantly eases her journey through grief. Over the last 3 years, Wanda Miller has navigated her grief while working to keep Kenny's legacy alive. She's been instrumental in bringing to life an album, Life is Like a Song, a compilation of Kenny's recordings from 2008 to 2011. Wanda feels strongly that Kenny would be delighted and proud of this posthumous release. His music resonated deeply, often vocalizing the sentiments men wish to express and the reassurances women hope to experience. A standout track from the album is Goodbye, penned by Kenny's treasured friend Lionel Richie, serving as a touching ode to their long-standing bond. And while the sorrow of loss is palpable, Wanda has taken strides towards a new chapter in her life, starting with an unexpected personal development she shared during an interview. Kenny himself, in a profound act of love, was apparently supportive of her moving on, imparting his blessing and even playing a role in finding her a new companion. Wanda's intimate account sheds light on Kenny's thoughtful anticipation about their age difference, often contemplating the future with openness and sincerity. Capturing the essence of their conversation, Wanda relayed his words, "I'm not going to live forever. I want you to be happy. You're young. I want you to have a full life past me." With such encouragement and blessing, Kenny made clear his selfless wish for her lasting joy, echoing the depth of their love and his care for her long-term well-being. Indeed, it's a rare occurrence to hear a spouse, let alone one of Kenny Rogers' renowned fame, verbalize such forward-thinking desires for their partner's happiness. Although it must have been a heart-wrenching discussion at the time, those words Kenny shared with Wanda acted as a beacon, guiding her through the afterglow of his life and enabling her to embrace new beginnings without a shadow of disloyalty. Now, 3 years post Kenny's passing, Wanda has found a way to honor that wish, opening her heart once more to love. This new chapter is not only for her own fulfillment, but also serves as a living testament to their sons, Justin and Jordan, that the essence of life and love can flourish beyond the physical absence of a beloved. Kenny gave me his very best, and he wanted me to move on and be happy. That's a really big man to be able to say those words and mean it, Wanda conveyed during her interview. The path to rediscovering love wasn't immediate for Wanda. Dear friends were instrumental, bridging the introduction to a man potentially special, a mutual acquaintance of Kenny's. With this setup came a sage piece of advice, prefacing the potential outcomes of their meeting. If you don't date each other, you'll be friends forever. From a foundation based on friendship, their rapport grew, strengthened by her recognition of traits in him akin to Kenny, such as a knack for leadership and a resiliently positive spirit. While Wanda acknowledges the singularity of her relationship with Kenny and the enormity of his legacy, she applauds her new partner for the comfort and simplicity found in their growing love. It even became a light-hearted conversation topic among friends who'd mused that Kenny might have had a hand in orchestrating this newfound connection. Speaking to the presence of this new figure in their family dynamic, he reassures their children, saying, "I'm not your dad. No one will ever take the place of your dad, but I'm here as your friend forever." This sentiment resonates deeply, underscoring the respect and understanding that permeates Wanda's new relationship and the continued honoring of Kenny's memory within their household. Absolutely, Kenny Rogers was indeed a singular presence in the lives of many, with his enchanting blend of charm, musical genius, and generosity touching the hearts of both those close to him and his legion of fans worldwide. His spirit, embodied in his songs and the memories he left behind, crafted a legacy that's as enduring as his influence on the music industry. Wanda's situation highlights a profound truth, that to love again isn't to diminish past affections or to overshadow a previous chapter. Instead, she's living out the very wish Kenny had for her, to immerse herself in life's fullness with joy and companionship, even beyond his time. This isn't an act of forgetting or forsaking, but is a tribute to the depth of their bond, a bond that even Kenny wanted to extend beyond his years to ensure her continued happiness. It's a sentiment surely shared by many who have experienced such loss and faced the complex journey of moving forward. The choice to find joy once more can be the ultimate homage to a lost loved one's memory and their desires for our well-being. What are your thoughts on this beautiful, complex weave of past, present, and future? If Kenny's story resonates with you, and you count yourself among his admirers, drop a K in the comments to show your appreciation for his life and music. And if you haven't already, click on the iconic Inside subscribe button for more engaging updates. Keep the conversation going until our next encounter, and stay iconic.